Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Abomination Goddess podcast, where we sit down once a week to delve into the mysteries of intuition, offer a space to explore the knowing within you, and to help lift the veil so that you can see more of the real world around you. With me, as always, is Casie Halseth. She is the author of the Abomination Born series. It is a fictional portrayal of her real life experiences with the mystical realms. Her action packed books are just full of lessons, insights, and calls for other Abomination Born folks around the world to start connecting, which is what we do with our podcast each week. She is an award winning public speaker, and I think that you'll find by watching this podcast and reading her books that she just effortlessly draws her audience into her world, both in her books and on the stage. So, welcome, Casie. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And I am Ashley Kim. I am the author of Villain Era Goddess. It is a book that I wrote to help women on their journeys to set boundaries, build confidence, and to heal themselves. It is a very honest and open look at what I went through and the tools that I used to survive my villain era. I went through my journey alone, and I wrote this book so you wouldn't have to go it alone. I will be sitting beside you, riding the crazy roller coaster with you. So, welcome, everybody. We're happy to have you here. Yay. Okay. So we always start the podcast with show and tell, our favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Let me know if you can see everything okay.
And I can go first. I don't have very much.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me scroll down a little. All right.
Do you want to start with the picture of the lady with the writing over her face?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is from, Dr. Kimberly Rose on Instagram, I think. Or no, maybe that's TikTok.
TikTok. I think this one's TikTok, isn't it?
Yeah. And what it says is in Semitic languages in the Middle East, whore meant cave and womb, and harlot meant womb of light.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Inanna and Ishtar were called the harlots of heaven in both Sumerian and Babylon times. So whore and harlot aren't just sexualized insults for powerful women. They denote ancient priestess caves and womb wisdom. So they mean womb of light.
Oh my
Isn't that
gosh.
something? And
That
they
is
turned that
something.
into a bad thing.
Yep. Yeah. Just like the word cunt used to be a successful like businesswoman.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, so
What
Coco
what is
Chanel used to
wrong with
call
this
herself that.
world?
I
What
know.
why I just don't get it.
Yeah. I
It's
always
just
wonder if there's another world that's flipped where men are treated like women. Like,
yeah.
is there
Yeah.
is there a counterbalance to us somewhere out there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah, I love this. This is amazing. And I hope, yeah, everyone listening to this really lets that sink
How
into their
it is
bones.
just like the number 13, how that has gotten changed. Oh,
Yep,
so many
yep,
things.
yes.
Okay, I go to that one the David Wyatt page, the poem, the words.
Oh, the
Uh,
words. Okay.
yeah, well, that's his book. It's called David White. I think it's David White, not Wyatt. What David White Essentials.
Oh,
That's the name of the book. I've got it sideways there. Sorry.
that's fine. It looks just as beautiful that way too. It's a pretty picture on the front.
It's a little tiny book, and I absolutely love it. I thought I was reading the Victoria magazine. I get that every couple months, and this was the ending of one of his poems called "The Journey." Sometimes with the bones of the black sticks left when the fire has gone out, those black sticks. Someone
Mm-hmm.
has written something new in the ashes of your life. You are not leaving, even as the light fades quickly now. You are arriving. Isn't that a great? Someone has written your name in the ashes. So the universe is doing this. So just when we think we're at the end of something or, oh my gosh, this can't be worth, then you're burnt down to nothing. In the
Yeah.
ashes becomes
Yes.
the, who you are. I just love that.
I really like this. Yeah. I
What's really
honestly,
nice about this book is he, at the end of every single poem, in this book anyway, Essentials is the name of this book,
yeah,
he tells a story about why he wrote that poem, what it's about, and it really helps.
yeah. Oh, I love
It's just a
that.
short little book. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And let's see what else. Oh, and then let's go to the one with the rings. I love that one.
Ooh, yes. Oh, okay. I'm gonna zoom in.
And I believe this is a spiritual meaning of rings on
Hmm.
TikTok.
Okay.
And it's what rings say about your energy. So, I know that there's all these rules about what finger you wear a ring on, and it means certain different things. But I thought this is really good for those of you who could see it. It, if you could take a screenshot of it, this would be great.
Yeah.
So if you wear a ring on your first finger, your index finger, that's a leadership ring, and if you wear it on your thumb, that's for power, and if you wear it on your baby finger, your little finger, that's for communication, and if you wear it on that middle finger, the social finger, that's identity, and if you wear it on your ring finger, that's love and beauty. And then they even talk about where you place it. If you have it across your knuckle, and they show one ring at least right across the knuckle. And I have worn rings across my knuckle, and that means strength. And I think during those times that I had a lot of rings on, and I had one that would sit on the knuckle, I did want the strength.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you wear it kind of at the middle part of your finger, that's for balance. And I hardly ever put it on the middle part of my finger.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm not interested in balance, and I do wear it mostly on the base, and that's foundation.
Yeah. Oh, that is so cool.
It is really neat, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That is really neat. I love it. I
And
would,
then
yeah.
last week we were talking about the spiral and the loop, and to get ourselves from out of the loop, going around and around and around with the problem. So let's go to the brain one,
Yeah.
that brain page. And this is one of the ways. I think I told you I used to give talks all the time in the county. And one of the talks that I gave uh, was about how to get out of that loop. And so all these people with Alzheimer's, husbands or dementia family members, that's what this talk was for. One of the things that we'd tell people to do, besides handing them a cup of hot water, hot coffee. So you've got a dementia person who's not too far gone, but kind of gone, and they get caught in that loop, saying the same thing over and over again, or whatever. Uh, you can get their motor skills to get activated by handing them a cup of coffee in their non-dominant hand and filling up the top so that they have to be very careful. And so if they're right-handed, you give it over on the left side, and then they have to be very careful to bring it over to their right hand and not spill it. And by the
Yeah.
time they get that up to their lips, they might be out of that loop that they were in. That's one of the things. But another thing that I used to tell them to do, and I thought this was good, that I found this on Instagram, and it's from Self Care with Vibes,
Okay.
uh, and it's called uh, Forward Walking. It says forward walking is highly automated, so that's you just normally go forward. But if you can get them to walk backward, and that's what I would have them do, a lot of the ladies said that they'd have their husbands walk backward with the walker. They'd have their walker and they would walk backward, and it would get them out of the loop because it's called retro locomotion, and it completely shocks your nervous system out of complacency. It forces your brain to build entirely new complex neural pathways instantly. And these ladies, I had so many ladies come back to me after I'd give these talks and tell me how successful this was. It really helped. And so, like, the other day, I used my feather and said, "What is done is done. What is uh, anyway, what is gone is gone." Well, that's one thing that we can do. But another thing, if we haven't got anything and we're just, if we are able to walk backwards, and that can take us out of that loop of
Yeah.
thinking.
Yes. Ooh, that's so good.
Oh, and then I had one more thing, um, the enchanted thing. Yep. Just a reminder. And I think I told you're still coming. Oh, I lost your sound.
Oh shoot, can you hear me?
There you are. There you are.
Yes,
Um,
I'm
you're still so next, not this coming Saturday, the 14th, I'll be speaking at the Enchanted in Conway. It's at the fairgrounds. And I'll be speaking about the psychic gift orders. We always
yeah.
talk about that. And that'll be so fun. I'm excited.
Yes. Yes. I have been bragging to everybody that I get to go sit in your class and learn.
Oh, they have so many classes. I told Al already, I'm going to be sitting from one class to another class to another class to another class. It costs $20 to get in for the whole weekend. It's Friday evening, Saturday and all day Sunday. Or it's $15. No, I think I forget what it is, but anyway, $20 for the whole weekend. And all the classes are free then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
It is
I just
really
love
good.
their classes. They're going to have all kinds of classes.
Yeah, that lineup looks really good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yes, I'm so excited for this. Oh, this is going to be so helpful to so many people. Um, and for those who, I guess if you haven't heard about this yet, so Casey is teaching a workshop and it's called Psychic Gift Orders. And it helps you, first of all, learn what your gift orders are, like how you process information and how you, I don't know, categorize it in your brain. And but then also how other people do it. So if you're talking to somebody and you feel like neither one of you are really getting your point across to each other, you're not hearing each other, it's probably because you have different psychic gift orders and you might have to step back and think, okay, this person, might start with these certain things. So I'm going to change how I'm wording what I say. And then suddenly, bam, it makes sense to them and they're on board and you're not arguing anymore. Or if you watch somebody have a reaction that seems kind of out of pocket to you, if you understand their gift order, then you know, oh, that's how they're processing what just happened. And so it's a little bit easier to let things go and to let other humans just be humans, just like how you want to be human. So yeah, I'm so excited about this. Did I explain that correctly?
Wow, perfectly. Perfectly.
I'm very excited for it. Yay. Okay. And so that is on the 14th, and it is in Conway, Arkansas at 12:30 p.m. is when Casey goes up.
Yep.
Yay.
And I think that was all I had.
So the rest of me, yeah, I had a ton. Um, okay. So I'll start with my first. We had the lunar eclipse this morning, and I wanted to make moon water. And so I was getting ready to get like a little jar, and then I was like, you know what, I do have a 5-gallon jug of water. So I put that outside, and then brought that back in this morning. So I made 5 gallons of moon water. I hope that does not have any bad side effects, but I thought that might be kind of a fun way to get it into the coffee maker, get it into even the dog's bowl, the plants, everything.
In this particular moon with the eclipse the way it is, it's a releasing one.
Yeah,
It's not a building one. It's more of a releasing one. And
yeah,
so, totally get rid of everything from last year.
yep,
And, it's a great idea because every time you have some water,
hmm,
you're adding to something that's fresh and new rather than, letting go of what was there before.
yeah, yeah. And I was thinking, what a easy way to kind of let the whole house in on it, like because my family, they don't always want to do all the things I do, but they're like, well, what's the easiest thing I can do or the quickest thing? So I was like, well, here you go, guys. Made some moon
Did you
water
get
for
to
you.
see the moon?
No, it was overcast
Yeah.
and that paired with all of the light pollution from just living in the city meant we saw it looked bright outside. Like yeah, we didn't see anything. So,
Yeah.
it sounds like most of Iowa was like that.
Yeah, we didn't get to see it at all. At about
Yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning, so this was Tuesday morning, at 2 o'clock, it was bright as could be out there, hardly any clouds. And then
Hmm.
5 o'clock when it was supposed to be, have the orange color,
Yeah.
it was dark outside. There was no moon. The clouds must have been thick, thick, thick. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I
I
set the
know.
alarm.
Yeah. Same.
No,
Yeah, we
no.
even drove to see, like maybe the clouds weren't so bad. No, it was everywhere around us. So that's okay. We just went with the vibes since we couldn't see it.
Yep, yep.
Um, okay. Then my other one, this is just my show and tell. This is my African violet that's been very mad at me
Ooh.
for a while. And I can't remember what happened. I don't know if I dropped it or something and I had to replant it. And anyway, so I would say for this usually has about 10 to 20 blooms on it all the time. Doesn't matter what time of year. And it was so mad at me. And now it's coming back. I have two blooms
Yay.
on there and it's starting to collect my hair again. So that was the other thing I noticed too, is when it was mad at me, I had none of my hair and the leaves. And so you can't really see it in this picture very well, but it's starting to collect my hair again. So we're making up and I get to see its beautiful flowers again. So I'm very,
Yay.
and I just had to share.
I love that. Yes.
Okay, so um, I'll share two more, then I'm going to go into my deep dive because my 6-year-old has been asking so many questions about how the moon was created, how Earth was created, and anyway, it was kind of fun to go into. Okay, so first of all, I just thought this was funny. It says Mercury retrograde, and it says me with some shiny rocks in my underwear. It's me. It doesn't have to be Mercury retrograde for me to have a rock in my bra. Um, and then I really liked this. So this account is on Instagram and Facebook, and I think they might even have a Substack, but it's called Girl God Books. And they
Okay.
also are a publisher for a lot of really good books. But this one, I thought the artwork was just amazing. It is a woman crawling out of a shell, and then there are tentacles coming out as well. And it
It is
says,
amazing.
yeah, isn't that so cool? It says,
Like she's
when
part
women,
octopus or something.
yeah, yeah. When women unwind our veils, our winding sheets, our attention is at first fixed upon the unwinding. The task which next becomes visible before us and around us is the task of seeing, sensing, self-moving in the directions with which our discovering senses open out to us. This self-conscious, self-directed movement is springing free. As we do this, we inspirit ourselves, freeing the life force that has been frozen, um, reified. I'm not saying that correctly, and fetishized. Mary Daly, whoop, um, I think it's Guy in Ecology. And then the art is by D. Mulrooney. But this, I don't know, this kind of spoke to me when I saw it. I'm just seeing
Yes.
a lot of women around me right now really getting their eyes opened to a lot of things. And they are in that the unwinding, which feels kind of messy and sad and depressing, and it's kind of interesting to watch other women go through that, knowing that I've gone through it. And I know what a mess I probably looked like to them when they didn't understand it, and now they're going through it. So it's been very interesting to witness this. I don't know, have you seen anything like this with the women around you, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've never thought of it as the veil coming off in an unwinding way.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
were taught,
either.
since we were little, that the veil comes down well, I suppose it does wind up and down. I never thought of that, but the veil, like um, when a window shade goes up and down. And so the veil is, grandma would say to me when I was little, she'd say the veil was down to here, she'd bent it down around my ankles. And so I would get down on the floor and I would look, And she'd laugh because she knew I
Yeah.
didn't understand what she was talking about, but I could see out through the veil, but I couldn't see everything because the veil had come down. It was just above my ankles. And so all my life I've mentally raised it, so I could see more, and know more.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I love
But I
that.
never thought
Yeah.
about it as being wound. But
Right.
in a sense, the so what that's really interesting, having
Yeah.
it being wound in it.
And to me, it kind of felt like almost like you're wrapped in a sheet and you have to literally
Yes,
like unwind yourself out of it. And that
yes.
is, you know, dizzying work. So yeah, I just loved this. And I always love this account too. I like everything they post.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, let me jump in here. Okay, so my 6-year-old had asked me, how was the moon made? And I remember being in school and when I was in school learning, which was, a long time ago, the answer was we just don't know. Like we don't know anything. And I think still, obviously, that's kind of still the answer, but now they have a lot of theories and everything else around it because they can actually get samples of the dirt and, rocks and stuff off the moon. Um, and so I'm going to summarize this in Ashley fashion. So hopefully you guys can follow. But so the Earth was made asteroids, rocks, particles all floating around the sun, and they stuck together and eventually formed a sphere, and then that was the Earth. And then another planet comes flying by called Theia, slams into the Earth, just a little, not like a full impact, but like sideswipes it. And then some particles go flying off the Earth and then start orbiting the Earth. And then over, forever, thousands of years, those particles start to stick together and then form a sphere. And then it's the moon. And now the moon is going around the Earth as one big giant ball instead of a bunch of particles. And this blew my mind because I don't know. I didn't know that the moon was the Earth. Like the moon was just chunks of the Earth stuck together, going around the Earth. Which I remember one time I saw a picture of what the Earth would look like would look like if there was no water on it. And I remember thinking, well, it looks just like the moon. Well, obviously, then there you go. They look the same. Okay. And so here's my kind of deep dive into it. Let's see here. On the NASA website, this just kind of it has a little screenshot. The rock samples indicated the moon was once part of the Earth. I'm going to say this wrong. Oh, let me see. Basaltic rocks, basaltic.
Basaltic.
Okay, rocks from the moon's mantle have striking similarities to the rocks on the Earth. And I won't read this whole thing, but and this is where so I've been reading Casey's second book, and this isn't mentioned like how the moon was made was not mentioned in Casey's book, but part of the beginnings of the earth was mentioned in Casey's book, and it's so fun to like put those like pieces kind of together. And so when you learn about how the earth was made, um, it was once, covered in lava. And so on the NASA website, it says, let's see, the moon's surface reinforces that the moon was once or had once been covered in widespread magma ocean that was quite deep from hundreds to thousands of kilometers. And that's exactly what the earth was like too, when it was first made. And so let me see here. I want to see if I got, okay. One more thing before I bring up Casey's book. I have been reading about quantum entanglement. And this says, and bear with me, everybody, my brain is not wanting me to read very well today, so I will read this out loud. Um, One of the most far out phenomena of quantum theory is quantum entanglement. The idea that particles of the same origin, which were once connected, always stay connected. Even if they separate and move far apart in time and space, they continue to share something beyond a mere bond. They shed their original quantum states and take on a new, united quantum state, which they maintain forever. This means if something happens to one particle, it affects all the others with which it's entangled. And so I thought that was so cool. Like, no wonder we're so close, like the moon means so much to the earth and it affects the earth. And, they are literally together still all the time because the moon was created from the earth. Um,
Interesting. Yes.
I thought that was so cool. Okay, now back to Far Sight, Abomination Born, Book Two, that I've been reading, and I had to go back and find this. Let's see here. Oh, what chapter was this? Let me look it on my. I mean, you probably know just looking at it, but let me look on my phone real quick. Sorry, I should have had that ready. But Marnie meets with. Ooh,
Coochie.
yes, thank you. Can you say the name again?
Coochie.
Kuchi. What chapter is
He,
that?
he's the bird man.
Yes. I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what chapter that was in. Chapter 6. Okay. And so Marnie is talking with Kuchi about how he came to be here and his mom and dad and all of that. And he mentions in here, yes, back then Earth was still going through its volcanic stage. Nothing on the surface was stable enough for life. Um, Sorry, let me make it bigger. There we go. But volcanologists and geologists from all over the cosmos came to watch the planet make its last steps. Oh, I should have gotten the rest of the screenshot. But so anyway, I love how like things kind of pop up around the same time. So I had read this probably last week or the week before, but immediately once my daughter and I were reading about how the earth was made, I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of read about this already. And so I had to go back and like find it in your book. Um, about this. So anyway, this is my show and tell of me getting me getting to put my Ashley thoughts together for you guys in the podcast. I thought this was so cool.
It is cool. It is cool. Yeah, Al and I had gone up to Cathedral Rock in Sedona, and I was sitting down on the ledge overlooking Oak Creek Canyon. At that part, the water's right below, and Al was going on and walking the rest of the trails around Cathedral Rock when Coochie the Birdman appeared, and he appeared as a young man.
Mhm.
But of course, he smelled the same. I knew who he was, and he sat down with me, and that's when I asked him about, where are you from? And he says, right here, and they'd been here forever.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
he
Yeah.
talked
I
about
love
his
this.
mother and his father. His father
Yeah.
was a bird, and his mother was a human, a scientist from another world.
Hmm. Yep. Here on the earth collecting samples, and then she fell, and originally he didn't care that much for humans, but he did save her. Yeah,
Yes.
I think that was one of my favorite stories so far in the book. I just really loved that one.
Yeah, I remember when he told me that, I was just like, really? Oh, that is so, I just loved his story.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
his mother's still alive.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so cool. I just can't even imagine, yeah, getting to come to a planet that's just full of lava and,
Yes.
you know, yeah, it's just so neat. Yeah, anyway, I loved it. And I loved getting to see like a glimpse of how the earth was made, but then also getting to put that with your story. Oh my goodness, it was so cool. So cool. So yeah, we've been deep diving on the moon, which became deep diving onto the earth. And um, I don't know, I just think I don't know why it blew my mind. Did you know that the earth or the moon was made from particles of gas? I had no idea.
Well, there's all kinds of theories, and that is one of the theories that I've heard. Yes. Yes, I've heard that theory. Um, and there was a time that the Earth did not have a moon.
Hmm.
There was no moon. And so that was probably back when we had all the volcanoes and everything that was happening on the Earth. It was totally unlivable, really. Fascinating place to visit, but not very good for living.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was so cool.
I love your entanglement thing. That's really interesting. Yeah, so if there were particles that had been entangled on Earth and they got split apart, you've got some rocks that are in love with each other and they got broken apart by some cosmic event, and it went, the other part went flying off into creating the moon. Of course, they
hmm.
would be entangled. Whatever would happen on the moon would
Yeah.
happen, what this rock here would know.
Yeah.
And mothers have that entangled with their children. They'll just know automatically. And children will have that oftentimes with their mother.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And even, I mean, science is even proving now that your kids, when you're pregnant, the baby's stem cells go into the mother's brainstem and stay. And so a mom literally does always have her children with her for the rest of her life. So yeah, I thought it was that theory was just so cool. And it started with I think it was like talking about atoms of like if something happens to this one, then it's going to affect the one that's like, could be at the edge of the universe and it would still
Yep.
impact it the same way. Um, and so it just, I don't know, it kind of makes something so huge as far as the universe kind of feel a little bit more connected and smaller as far as, that
Mhm.
kind of entanglement between all of them and everything, and in your book too, and I can't remember who was talking about it, but it was talking about the stones and how they remember everything and they know everything. And it's like, well, yeah, no wonder, if there's this entanglement, um, no wonder, they do. Like they are, everything's connected. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And I would say too with your book, one of the things that it has helped me with is, and you always talk about this all the time, and it didn't like click in my brain. Well, I thought it clicked in my brain, and then it clicked differently just the other day. But how you talk to everything, and that everything is alive, and I don't know why, but it just clicked of like I can just speak to stones, and it's not like I'm having, a debate or a conversation, but it can just be like, hey, hello, I see you. How are you? Like that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be this big, huge thing, but I can keep a conversation going and keep that connection going with it. And yeah, it just clicked different after reading
And
a few.
everything everything's mind, at least, like the computer here, it's been mined. Nothing that
Mhm.
we have practically has not been mined out of the earth.
Yes.
The oil came from the earth. The petroleum products that are used for everything came out of the earth.
Yep.
All the minerals came out of the earth. They were mined. Of course, my
Yeah.
great grandfather was a miner, so I'm
You
particularly
know.
fond of miners. Uh, but yeah, so everything's mined, and so it comes from rock. It comes from the
Yep.
earth. And so when we're talking to our devices, or talking to whatever we have,
Yeah.
why wouldn't it understand it? Why wouldn't it be able to
Yeah.
communicate back?
Right. Yes. And these stones have been here since the beginning of time, forever, since literally the beginning of time, just like water. Um,
Yes.
Actually more than the water, probably. But yeah, it's yeah, so interesting. And just, and one of the things that you've taught me too is I think when people think stones, they're thinking either, like the beautiful gemstones, which are beautiful, or the rocks in the driveway. But then when you reword it and you say minerals, then it does start to kind of show you a much bigger picture because one of the things they're finding is that humans have stopped ingesting minerals at the same amount that they used to, and it's causing a lot of health issues. And so now humans are like, oh, I need to put minerals in my diet, So like
Yeah.
it's it is such a much bigger picture. And with that bigger picture comes an even bigger appreciation of what we have. And also a little bit of like being frustrated that for me anyway, I know my family doesn't have that knowledge anymore. I bet they used to, but they don't. Like, that was kind of taken away. And so it's up to me to relearn it and then reteach it. But it's like, man, I wish I would have known all that, when I was way younger, when I was a little girl hoarding all the stones, and not knowing why I loved them so much.
Like one of the things that like grandma used to say is how important it was to let your purse breathe.
Mm,
So she would take everything out of her purse every day and put it in a shoebox on the stairway going upstairs and shut the door. And like, why would you do that? To let it breathe. She respected the leather of the purse,
hmm
and it was just, you're treating things as if they're the special thing that they are.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. I forgot about that story. I like that story. That's good. That's an easy kind of practice or ritual to pick up too, if you wanted to do
Yeah,
it.
when I do clean and go through things, I'm not like my grandma that way. I'm more like my father, who's kind of I could be a hoarder very easily. Uh,
I love
but
hoarding.
oh yeah, when I do get into that other mode, that's what I think of is I take everything out of the shelf, out of that one particular shelf, not all of them, but I'll take everything out of that shelf, then clean it off. Sometimes if it needs it, I'll put shelf paper down or something, and I'm letting it breathe and letting it come alive again because it's been cluttered or too much
Yep.
spin it. And I only put back the things that I absolutely love. And I only do that. Grandma would do that seasonally, um,
Hmm.
throughout her house all the time. And I can't do that, but I can do it. Every couple of years I go through things, and
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
mass donation to Humane Society.
Yep. That's what we do too. Yeah, that's what we do too. And I like the concept of like letting it breathe. The way that you
Yeah.
worded that is makes it easier to understand. I don't know why I thought of this, but I remember I used to have a I put like kind of a ward around my bedroom. So when my middle child, when she was probably, yeah, 7 or 8, 6 or 7, she would bring me things. Like one time she brought me, and I was in my room, and she brought me a recipe card, super old recipe card. And this is what I mean, it was probably a year she would do this. She would hand it to me, whatever the item was, and she would say, "I'm supposed to give this to you." And I'd say, "Okay, where did you get it? I don't know." "Well, who gave it to you?" "I don't know." "Well, like, do you know what it is?" "No, but I have to give this to you." And so then she would just give me, and it would be nobody, it's not my mom's, it wasn't my grandma. Like everyone would be like, "No, that's not mine. I don't know where that came from." And so, anyway, to help us sleep, because she would come to sleep with me, I put it, kind of a ward around my bedroom, and I did it with salt and some other stuff. And so I do remember one day I was in a big cleaning mode, and I broke that kind of ward barrier in my bedroom door, and it was like it was almost like an exhale of like all the energy left, and the whole house felt it of like, what was that? And I'm like, that was the bedroom. That was the bedroom energy. It all escaped. Yeah, it was very eye-opening for me to realize, because I didn't even know that I had done that, that I had shut all that stuff in there for so long, until I broke it, and it was like, woof.
Yeah. And you could feel that. Yes. That was interesting. You asked her, how do you know? And she said she didn't know. I don't know. I don't know. See, when I was little, I'm high visual and your daughter's high intuitive. So
Mhm.
she would answer, she doesn't know. You get the information quick.
Yes.
And um, with me, I'm a high visual. I would say to my mom, "Oh, this lady, she came down through the ceiling in the bedroom, and she said this, or she did this." You know,
Yep.
so because
Yes.
I'm a high visual, I would see it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. That is so interesting. Yeah, we are a family of I don't knows. I don't know. Yeah,
That's
she'll
because
come
you're high
home.
intuitives.
Yep, she'll come
Yes.
home, "Mom, you got to do something to the house. It's different." "What do you mean?" "I don't know." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. The
Uh,
knowing category. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's funny. Yeah, we're all, "I don't know. I don't know." Um, yeah.
Oh, you're a lot smarter than me.
I I don't know.
Intuition is real low on me.
You get it through your other senses though, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see it. Yes.
Yeah. And that's you saying that, that's such a good point, of why that psychic gift orders workshop is going to be so amazing for so many people, because you hearing me say that my daughter said, "I don't know," right away you knew, okay, and high
Hmm.
intuitive, right?
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, and that's very helpful.
We're going to do this workshop in a gallery format so that, you know, uh, everybody can understand their own,
Yeah,
it'll be so much easier and so much more fun trying
yeah,
to figure out the different people.
yes.
And as you figure out someone else, it helps you understand yourself and all your other friends and family and things. You'll think, oh, yeah, that's just like so and so.
Yep. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. It's gonna be so fun. So, yay. Awesome. Anything else that I'm missing for today?
No, I love the entanglement. I'm reading that book, Entangled, by Merlin uh, uh, Sheldrake, Merlin
Mhm.
Sheldrake. And he talks about the entanglement of the mushrooms and the fungi, or he calls it fungi. Fungi, I think he calls it fungi, I think he calls it that way, and how everything is entangled.
Mhm. Ooh, I bet that's a good book.
It's a really good book. I've read it several times and I only understand like this much of it.
Yeah, that's what I have. It's not that one, but it's the Zodiac and the Salt of Salvation. And oh, okay, well, there you go. A little bit of it anyway. But yeah, it's about minerals in your body and it's based on zodiac signs. And so
Oh,
it
wow.
goes through, yeah, so it goes through like Aries being like the head and then the mineral that is involved with that. And so if you're an Aries sign and you have these ailments or these mental illnesses or whatever, it's because you're missing this very specific mineral that you need to put back into your body. And so it kind of goes through each zodiac sign. Very interesting, very hard to read, so smart. So sometimes I wanted to talk about it today, but I don't even know if I can yet because it
Yeah,
is
say with me with the Entangled book. It's
yeah.
it's and I have gone through it, I don't know, maybe 4 times already.
Yeah,
And it's
I have.
way over my head. It's written beautifully, but it's way over my head.
Yeah, same here with this one. I finally had to. I just went on YouTube and said, "Explain this book to me." It's like
That's a
and
good
then
idea. Yeah.
yeah, and then I did find some and it was helpful. But I do want to actually read it for myself too. And I'm not all the way through it yet, but yeah, it is a very interesting book. And when you get to like your zodiac sign, it is really eye-opening. And the author of the book said that he first learned about it in 1905, I think. So it was written before that. Um, so I can't figure out like I can't find a publication date anywhere for the original. But the book I'm reading is the one that was put together in like 1936, I believe. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah. So once I can explain it, better than how I explained all the moon stuff today, then I will talk about it. But yeah, it's way over my head right now. But from what I do understand, very interesting.
We're stretching our brains.
Big time.
But whenever you stretch your brain, it's like a rubber band. You stretch it and stretch it and stretch it, and then it snaps back. And it's like, oh, I don't want to read anything. I don't want to learn anything more. I've learned enough. And then
Yeah.
pretty soon we start going and more. We start go pull
Yes.
it back and we start stretching again. So I
Yeah.
know my pattern, I know the snap back.
Yep.
And that's what
Yeah.
I like to take off for a little while and go someplace and just
Hmm.
chill out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea. Cool. Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This was fun. And thanks for listening to me ramble about the moon. I obviously
Good
got so fascinated.
information. Yeah.
Yeah,
Entangled.
yeah, so fun. So cool. And then yeah, reading about Coochie and his family and the beginning of the earth was just one of the
Oh,
coolest stories I have ever read. I just
he
loved
was, oh, can you imagine sitting there listening to this story? Oh,
it. Yeah, no,
and
I
I could
can't.
see it. He showed it to me. So
Oh,
I was watching it happen. It was
wow.
just awesome. Yeah, he just goes like this with his hand, and I could see the whole thing as he's telling me the story. Oh, it was just wonderful.
That is amazing.
And
That is amazing.
I don't even do it justice really in how I tell the story, but oh, he
Beautiful.
was a great storyteller.
Yeah, I would love it. I love it. I'm glad you put it in your book. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. Happy lunar eclipse season.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody has a good rest of the week. And if you're exhausted like I am after a sleepless night, then get some
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah. There's no sleep during a full moon, let alone one like this one.
Yes,
Let's go
that,
to bed.
yeah, exactly. So, all right. Everyone else go have a nap. I have to go to a meeting. See everybody next week.
Bye.
Bye.